Hi, friends. It's been a while. I'm sorry. I'm sure at least some of you are wondering where I've been. Short answer is I graduated and got a job. And as you probably can tell, I've also been busy with moving, so things have just been changing a lot in my life, and it's left me basically no time for my creative pursuits, mainly this channel. And I've missed you and I've been thinking about you. This isn't, unfortunately, my big return to the channel. I won't be returning to the schedule that I used to have of posting once or twice a week. I am just going to continue posting whenever I can, and hopefully that'll be more often than it's been this year going forward. All of that being said, I wanted to keep my promise of sharing with you all of the music that I love and am passionate about, and so that's what I'm here to do today. I'm going to share with you my top 55, because I couldn't narrow it down to 50, songs and albums of 2022. And I invite you to leave your own lists in the comments. I really love reading all your lists whenever you share them with me. I think I'm going to keep it pretty brief this year, famous last words. I'm just going to be reading off of these lists that I have in front of me, and as always, the order of these lists is not super important. It's just my way of sharing all of the music that I enjoyed. Some of these artists only have a few thousand streams or are only available on certain platforms, so I hope that I can introduce you to some new artists or songs or albums, and that you can expand your playlist. And I will drop Spotify playlists for both of these lists in the description box below. So first, I am going to dive in with my favorite songs of the year, starting from number 55 and working my way up to number 1. At number 55, I have 90 Degrees by Fax Gang, a song that introduced me to the genre of Hexed. Number 54 is Nervous at Night by Charlie Hickey, a sweet, youthful feeling piece of pop rock produced, I believe, by Phoebe Bridgers. Number 53, L'Enfer, pardon my pronunciation, by Stromae. The Belgian electropop artist returns with a very dramatic and dark song. Number 52, Tap by Tomberlin. That chorus melody just floats. It's so beautiful and ethereal. Number 51, Sirens by Flume featuring Caroline Polachek. Caroline's vocals are killer on this song, and the title absolutely fits. Number 50, One Time by Bad Boy Chiller Crew. The second verse alone is just incredible. Such a banger. Top tier hip house in my opinion. Number 49, 99999999 In a Dream by Otter Rook. This song is so replayable. Forget everything I've ever said about Screamo not being my thing. I cannot get enough of this song. Number 48, speaking of songs that I love to replay, Bitch I'm Nice by Doechii, the best minute and 30 seconds in the rap genre this year. Number 47, Stars by The Weather Station, a big pivot tonally there, some somber singer-songwriter about the new year, good timing. Number 46, Nobody Gets Me by SZA. I definitely need more time for SOS to marinate and to really discover what my favorite songs are, but this is the one that I am replaying the most at the moment. Number 45, Spellbound by Judy Collins. Amazingly, one of the first songs that she released that she wrote herself. You may have heard of her because she was the original artist to record Joni Mitchell's Both Sides Now. Number 44, Ugly Season by Perfume Genius, the title track from his incredible album that I will be talking about later. Number 43, Snow on the Beach by Taylor Swift, allegedly featuring Lana Del Rey. I kid, I do hear Lana's presence on it. The song is really ethereal and beautiful. Eric, you're biased because you're a Lana stan. Of course you would like the song. Yes, that is true. I mean, I could have chosen Midnight Rain, but this one is just so pretty and I can't stop listening to it. Number 42, King by Florence and the Machine. Really interesting feminist perspective, of course, from Florence, and those vocals, it's so climactic, such a great song. Number 41, Moment Is Now by My Dream Fever. I believe this is the same artist who goes by Paranol, and this is a really interestingly motivational instrumental track that I also believe is a Bandcamp exclusive. Number 40, Firefly by Shy Girl. Very different tonally from her other work, a lot more somber and sort of on the lighter end for her, but it's so re-listenable. I love the chorus melody. Number 39, Imagining by Rina Sawayama. This song goes so hard. It's such a rageful bop. Number 38, When Everything Is Gray by Jaren. If you enjoyed Porter Robinson's music from last year, give this song and album a listen. It is fantastic, so energetic. Number 38, We'll Never Have Sex by Leith Ross. This song blew up on TikTok, so I did have some extra time to develop a relationship with it from hearing at least the first verse so often, and I think the full version is really impressive. Definitely a singer-songwriter to look out for. Number 36, Free in the Knowledge by The Smile. Is it just me or does this guy sound a lot like Tom York? Number 35, Expert in a Dying Field by the Beth. Such an adorable song about love. Sort of also pessimistic, but I really enjoy that about it. It sort of has that us against the world narrative that defines so much of the romantic music we love. At number 34, we have New Wife by Typhoon. This is such an underrated indie rock band. Their album Offerings from 2018 was one of my favorites of the year. Definitely check them out. Number 33, Doors by Tennyson. Super cool glitch pop. The chorus is really choppy and interesting, and I listen to this one quite often as well. Number 32, Part of the Band by the 1975. Yes, it sounds like Bon Iver. Is that why I like it? Also yes. Number 31, Talking to Yourself by Carly Rae Jepsen. I love Carly. This is, I think, the boppiest song from her new album, but there were so many great contenders. Number 30, Reflections by Honey Harper. Honey Harper made one of my favorite country albums in recent memory a couple years ago, and he is back. This song really draws closely on the sounds of his prior album, whereas most of his new album is sort of more grounded and less ethereal, but the harmonies on the chorus on the song are to die for. Number 29, Shotgun by Soccer Mommy. Despite the title, this is actually a very sweet song, produced, I believe, by OPN. Totally an unexpected pairing, but they work so well together. Number 28, What I Want by Muna. Such a banger. Oh my gosh. It would be a shame if this awoke something in me, you know? Number 28, The Linden Trees Are Still in Blossom by Jens Lekman. This is the sequel to his song A Postcard to Nina, and part of it is about the state of the world with respect to homophobia, but the song is just so sweet. I'm stopping myself now before I get emotional. Number 26, Did You Know That There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard by the queen herself, Lana Del Rey. I did not know that, and I know it now. The song is beautiful, and I'm so excited for the album. Number 25, United in Grief by Kendrick Lamar, a pitch-perfect opener. It was sort of a toss-up between this and N95, but I found this one to be a little bit more technically impressive. Number 24, Headspace by Sharon Van Etten. This is sort of the spiritual sequel to Jupiter 4. If you like the sort of yearning and repetition on that song, you will really enjoy this song too. It is so intense. Number 23, Rubberneckers by Christian Lee Hudson, another one produced by Phoebe Bridgers. This one has such great lyricism. The chorus, if you tell a lie for long enough, then it becomes the truth. I'm gonna be okay someday with or without you. The lyrical layers are just perfect. Number 22, Distractions 3, Spoiled Rotten by Kilo Kish, a song about capitalism and appearance and so many of the ways that our insecurities are rooted in consumerism. In case you couldn't tell, we are really in the territory where these are the songs that I just could not get enough of this year. Number 21 is Not a Love Song by Sasami. This song has some references seemingly to the folk of the British Isles. It is just so beautiful and in stark contrast to much of the rest of the album Squeeze. Number 20, another very ethereal song, Almost Always by Rollo Tomassi. Again, we've got two artists who made, or bands who made albums that were sort of metal influenced or even had screamo elements, and they had these really ethereal, this is more shoegazy, songs, and I just listened to this one so often, especially around when it came out. I love this song. Number 19, Happy New Year by Let's Eat Grandma. I will be playing this song very soon. Such a beautiful, tender song about love and friendship, and it's really probably one of the best New Year's songs that I've heard in recent memory. Number 18, I'm That Girl by Beyonce. Yes, you are. Hot take that this is my favorite song on the album, but it's at least my most replayed song on the album. It's so hard to choose because Renaissance is so full of bangers. Number 17, How Do I Make You Love Me by The Weeknd. This song found me at the right time, and yeah, it just hurt really good. Number 16, Her Mother's House by Björk. The fact that she made this with her daughter is just so touching. The chorus melody, when she sings The More I Love You, I die. Number 15, Twice by Charlie XCX. Again, a hot take that this is my favorite song on Crash, but it is my most replayed song on Crash. I love Charlie. This is sort of almost adjacent to her hyperpop. I think probably Move Me is even closer, but this song is just, again, really touching. I love songs about friendship this year, I guess. Number 14, Skin Tight by Raven Lenae featuring Steve Lacy. We love a song with an unconventional time signature. We love songs about complicated relationships. This is such a mature perspective for Raven Lenae, not to mention an immaculate vocal performance. Number 13, Sidelines by Phoebe Bridgers, another song that just hurts so good. Phoebe has a talent at that, we know this. Number 12, a song that rightfully has blown up this year, at least in my circles, American Teenager by Ethel Cain. People have said there are so many great songs to choose from on Preacher's Daughter, but again, this is the one that I replayed the most. It is such a banger. It's such a great take on Heartland rock. It feels nostalgic and modern. It does exactly what it needs to do, and it conveys a complex character. So I am just so impressed by Ethel Cain. And the last entry before my top 10, this one could have just as easily been in my top 10, Deborah by Jockstrap. Oh my gosh, riddle me a song that sounds like this. And that's not me challenging you, that is me requesting, because I love this song and want to hear more like it. And here we are at my top 10 songs of the year, starting out strong with number 10, God Turned Me Into a Flower by Wise Blood. That new agey ambient outro destroys me. Her vocals are full of so much emotion. The lyrics are so intimate and so universal at the same time. I love the song. I'm saying that a lot, obviously. I love all of these songs, but, you know, I mean it every time. Number 9, The Place Where He Inserted the Blade by Black Country New Road. I had to give him a spot in the top 10 here. This song is such an emotional roller coaster. The vocals are so, again, emotional. This is such an emotionally fraught song and is so brilliantly executed. I am so blown away by this band. Number 8, Saoko Papi Saoko by Rosalia. This song is a banger. It moves in so many different directions, from industrial hip hop to freeform jazz. I just love this song, and the music video is so crisp. It's like a cutscene from GTA brought to life. I just love it. Number 7, Blurred View by Big Thief. Unconventional choice for this album, yes, but I believe both Spud Infinity and No Reason came out last year, so they are not eligible under my rules. But this is one of my most replayed songs of the year as well. It's Big Thief's take on R&B. The colors of this song are so foggy and hazy and earthy. This song is just extremely underrated. Number 6, Ride the Dragon by FKA Twigs. You know how much I love Twigs, and this song feels like classic Twigs just exploded. I think that the use of repetition on this song is so clever. I just think that this song is such a great encapsulation of her artistry, even though it feels so much freer and looser than her other work. Number 5 is Goodbye Mr. Blue by Father John Misty. It is doubly sad because it is both a breakup song and a song about the death of a pet. In case he just wanted to destroy us, a little extra. Just a great classic folk song from Papa John. At number 4, I have Love Me More by Mitski. Again, I'm loving the use of repetition in many of these songs this year, and this song uses it to convey her ardent yearning. We love that yearning from Mitski. It's a cliche at this point, but it's true. She's just so great at that. It's so multi-layered lyrically, with ideas about her love and her art and where they meet in uncomfortable ways, and the power that it takes from her. It's just such great work from Mitski, and this was one of my first favorite songs of the year that I played on loop. At number 3, we have a song that blew me away. It's so wildly original, Bites on My Neck by Yule. This is co-produced by Danny L. Harrell, one of my favorite producers. The song is so climactic. That guitar melody soars, the screaming, these ideas of love and pain. It's bodily, it's visceral, it's incredible. At number 2, we have my most replayed song of the year, according to Spotify Wrapped, Midnight Sun by Nilüfer Yanya. This song is so tender, and when it explodes with that fuzz, it's just perfection. Love is raised by common thieves, hiding diamonds up their sleeves. These lyrics are so good. These ideas about love are multifaceted. It is just what I want in a rock song. And finally, rounding out my songs list with my favorite song of 2022, did you guess it? Billions by Caroline Polachek. This to me is as close to perfect as music gets. Again, co-produced and co-written by Danny L. Harrell, this song hits every single beat perfectly. I have no notes. Caroline has grown so much as a lyricist. Her lyrics here are absolute poetry. Need I mention her vocals again? They are just perfect. Even on a subtler song like this, that choral outro was the perfect way to round out this song, and the children's choir was such a great choice. I love choral music, and to combine that with this trip hop R&B vibe is so original. This really feels like the future of art pop to me, and as I might have mentioned, art pop is probably my favorite genre or subgenre of music. Art pop is a genre that feels like home to me, and Caroline is adding an entire new wing to that home. I am incredibly excited for her new album, and that leads me to my list of my favorite albums of 2022. First up, we've got Farm to Table by Bartees Strange, a super original combination of genres from rock to folk to R&B. Number 54 is Hold On Baby by King Princess. This album took me completely by surprise. I hadn't really listened to a whole lot of King Princess's work in the past. It hadn't really grabbed me, but this album did. The songs are tender and full of yearning, just how I like them. Number 53, an extremely woefully overlooked album, Serene by Wonder XO, and I'm also going to tack on the companion EP, Serene Extras. This has been a super impressive year for glitch pop, and this album is an immaculate example of that. Number 52 is Ugly Death, No Redemption, Angel Curse, I Love You by Otto Rook. No, that is not a Big Thief album title. This is one of the members of the duo Black Dresses, bringing us some really, really impressive aggro tech. Number 51, Nymph by Shy Girl. Very different from her past work in that it has a lighter touch, but the production is just as reliably fantastic by artists like Sega Bodega and Arca. Not to mention her performances are still as killer as ever. Number 50 is Florist by Florist. I saw someone refer to this album as Little Thief, and I think that's a great compliment. This is some really top tier folk music. Number 49, A Light for Attracting Attention by The Smile. Again, is anyone else feeling the Radiohead vibes? That's a compliment, it's just they're very, very similar, I feel like. Anyway, number 48, Being Funny in a Foreign Language by the 1975. It's more concise than their last few albums, but just as fun. Number 47, Rot by Tennyson, a sort of overlooked album, some really impressive glitchy indie pop. Number 46, Reason to Smile by Koji Radical, some super impressive catchy, melodic hip-hop coming out of the UK. Number 45, Dawn FM by The Weeknd. Full of bangers, we know this. It blew up the charts as it should have. Number 44, I Don't Know Who Needs to Hear This by Tomberlin. You do. You need to hear this. It's that good. Number 43, Big Time by Angel Olsen. Angel Olsen goes Americana. She should have been nominated for a Grammy for it. Number 42, I Walked With You a Ways by Planes, another Americana album, but this time with a mix of alt country and classic country, sort of some Loretta and Dolly and Patsy vibes. Number 41, Rough and Beautiful Place by My Dream Fever. This is a purely instrumental and again Bandcamp exclusive album, so for it to have caught my attention is quite a big deal to me. I think the songs here are just so beautifully composed. Number 40, Dance Fever by Florence and the Machine. I love the concept of this album, and it was Florence's turn to collaborate with Jack Antonoff, and I think yet again it's a great collaboration. Number 39, Hold the Girl by Rina Sawayama, just full of bangers, not quite as ambitious, I would say, as her prior album, Sawayama, which was one of my favorites of 2020, but still just as fun. Number 38, I by Licky Lee. This album is just debilitatingly sad, which I love about it. Number 37, Superstar by That Kid. This is his best work yet. I am so impressed by him. I'm so happy for him. This is such a fun, consistent hyperpop project. Definitely my favorite hyperpop project of the year. Number 36, Muna by Muna. Again, this is my first time really getting into Muna, and songs like What I Want and Runner's High just have me hooked. Number 35, The Forever Story by Jid or J-I-D. Apparently it's pronounced either way. This album is so technically impressive. It has great features. The themes on the album are complex. The lyricism is impressive. There's been a lot of great hip-hop this year, and this is definitely one of the standouts. Number 34, The Loneliest Time by Miss Carly Rae Jepsen. Carly is back and lonelier than ever to our benefit. Songs about wanting more and needing more are her bag, and this album delivers. Number 33, Green by Ray, some sort of under-the-radar J-pop and pop rock, super fun. Even if I can't understand the lyrics, this is just instrumentally and vocally and melodically so investing. Number 32, I had more room, so I made an exception and put in a live album, live at Montreux Jazz Festival by Anna von Hauswolf. If you enjoyed Sinner Get Ready by Lingua Ignota, this is more neoclassical darkwave with just as dramatic of vocals. The mysterious vanishing of Electra and Pomperiposa are just monumental. Number 31, No Thank You by Little Sims. This one came in just in time for me to listen to it and appreciate its greatness. I might even prefer this to Sometimes I Might Be Introvert, but it has to marinate a little bit more. Number 30, Pre-Pleasure by Julia Jacqueline. This is a great follow-up to Crushing with some very personal lyricism, especially as it relates to her religious upbringing. If you like Lucy Dacus, give this one a listen as well. Number 29, Natural Brown Prom Queen by Sudan Archives. I listened to this one again just to confirm that I liked it this much, and in fact, I liked it even more. Number 28, SOS by SZA. The wait was worth it. This album is super impressive, not quite as compact as Control, but I like the different directions that she takes herself vocally and stylistically. Number 27, It's Hard to See Color When You're So Impossibly Far Away by Jaren. Again, if you like Porter Robinson, give this one a listen. There's this moment on the closer of this album where there's this buildup of tension in these synths, and they sort of seem to release into the sound of laughter, and it is just such an amazing, touching, life-affirming moment. Number 26, Blue Rev by Always. This is another album that I am more impressed by every time I listen to it, which means that I just have to listen to it more. It's consistent, it's fuzzy, it's warm, it's catchy, it's everything I could have wanted. Number 25, We've Been Going About This All Wrong by Sharon Van Etten. Sharon has one of the most consistent outputs of any indie rock artist in recent years, and I love the way that she, like artists like St. Vincent or Torres, toes the line between art pop and indie rock. Number 24, Underground Complex Number 1 by Typhoon. Again, give this band a listen. This is some super impressive indie rock, very warm, very tender. Number 23, Honey Harper and the Infinite Sky by Honey Harper. Contrary to what the title might suggest, this album is actually more grounded than his prior album Star Maker. The vibe is like ethereal Garth Brooks, but also with some disco influences at some point. So I think that should attract some of you. Do not be deterred by the fact that this is a country album. This is very different. Give it a shot. Number 22, Quitters by Christian Lee Hutson. I don't know which I prefer more, Beginners or Quitters, because they are so consistent in quality. Excellent songwriting, very impressive production by Phoebe Bridgers. Christian Lee Hutson just has such a likable persona on this album. Number 21 is Once Twice Melody by Beach House. Beach House is the dream pop band of our age for a reason. This album is consistent front to back despite the length, and that is an impressive feat. Number 20 is Glitch Princess by Yule. This is such an impressive expansion of Yule's sonic palette. Serotonin 2 was more intimate, whereas this album is large in scale and ambitious, and it has quite a variety of styles as well, though much of it is, as the name suggests, very glitchy and ambient, which I really, really enjoy. Definitely check this one out if you haven't already. Number 19, Crash by Charlie XCX. I have been listening to so much Charlie this year. I believe, according to Spotify Wrapped, she was my most played artist of the year, which didn't surprise me. Yes, this is her more mainstream moment, but she's earned it, and all of the songs are bangers. Number 18 is Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers by Kendrick Lamar. This is a complicated album, both thematically and in execution, and I think a lot of people are going to have different reactions to it. That being said, Kendrick is a consummate poet, and he shows it on songs like United in Grief and N95, and there are also some experiments like We Cry Together that are very impressive and bold in that workout. Number 17 is American Girl by Kilo Kish. This is a fun, conceptual art pop album. It has some drum and bass elements. It's got R&B elements, the electronic and glitch elements. It is so well-rounded and such a great listen. This is yet another release that I believe has been overlooked, but if you are into pop, definitely give this one a listen. Number 16, The Line is a Curve by K Tempest. They are an incredible spoken word hip-hop artist. I get spoken word is not everyone's thing, but this one leans more hip-hop than their past couple of albums, and I think it's their best work in years. Number 15 is Two Ribbons by Let's Eat Grandma. The backstory behind this album is quite tumultuous, and yet the music itself is so inspiring. It is a fantastic synth pop album, and Hall of Mirrors is its centerpiece and one of my absolute favorite songs in recent memory. Number 14 is Ugly Season by Perfume Genius. This is Mike Hadrius at his most experimental. It's completely different structurally from his past albums. It's so out there, but also incredibly listenable. It's compositionally and instrumentally brilliant, and Mike does really interesting and experimental things with his voice. I am just blown away by him every time he releases something new. And speaking of experimental, at number 13, we've got I Love You, Jennifer B by Jockstrap. The album cover does not do this album justice because it is so colorful. If this is dance music designed for a club, then that club is melting in real time as we listen to it. It is warped, it is strange, it is catchy. It is everything that I want in an experimental art pop album. At number 12, we've got Motomami by Rosalia. This album is so much fun. It's more freewheeling than her prior work. From the drama of Como Un G and Sakura to the iconic playfulness of Saoko and Bizcochito, this album has so much variety and solidifies Rosalia as a visionary. Number 11 is Painless by Niloufer Yanya. This album contains so many of my favorite songs of the year: Midnight Sun, Stabilize, Trouble, The Dealer, so many songs that I have listened to on repeat and that made the top of my Spotify Wrapped. It's dark and warm and complex and tortured and beautiful. We have made it to my top 10 albums of the year. At number 10, I have Preacher's Daughter by Ethel Cain. What can I say about this album that hasn't been said already? It is expansive, it is slow and churning and mournful and elegiac, but so beautiful and full of so much heart and resistance. If Ethel Cain can do this on her debut, just imagine what she can do on her later albums. I am so excited to see what she does next. At number 9, I have Capri Songs by FKA Twigs. As I have mentioned, Twigs is one of my absolute faves, and this album is so different for her, and she executes it brilliantly. In fact, it's not really even an album, it's more of a mixtape, and because of that, she has a little bit more freedom. It's not as in the Twigs canon as LP1 and Magdalene. It's different, but it incorporates so much of her vision and so many of the sonic ideas that she has played with for years, but shatters them into a million different directions in such a playful way. I can see how she continues to push herself as an artist, and as a longtime listener, I truly appreciate that so much. Number 8 is Laurel Hell by Mitski. I love how Mitski's albums are in conversation with each other, and this one seems to pick up where Be the Cowboy left off and sort of track the progression of her stardom since then and her relationship with it. And it's complex in that way too. It sort of makes us reflect on ourselves as her listeners. Her vocals on this album are as impressive as ever, and it has some really strong lyrics, so it's another excellent entry into an already immaculate catalog. Number 7 is Hypnos by Raven Lenae. I have been waiting for this debut for years, and it did not disappoint. In fact, it exceeded all my expectations. This is an incredible collection of futuristic R&B songs, from Skin Tight to MIA to Venom to Inside Out to Mercury to Ecstasy. I cannot get enough of it. I have listened to Raven Lenae so much this year. Her vocals are perfect. This album is wonderful. At number 6, we have another one of my most anticipated albums of the year, Fossora by Björk. I am a huge Björk fan, and so this album was a big deal to me, and I think she delivered. She said she would make music that you could dance to, and while that's kind of true, she also delivered some interesting thematic complexity and the focus on interpersonal connection that runs through her whole catalog, but especially since Vulnicura. This is also definitely one of her weirdest albums, up there with Volta and Medulla, but we love her all the more for it. At number 5, we have And in the Darkness Hearts Aglow by Wise Blood. The follow-up to Titanic Rising is just as beautiful. Natalie Merring's vocals are so buttery smooth. Once again, the combination of that retro Karen Carpenter style delivery and these modern sensibilities and themes is extremely effective, and it's a pleasure just to luxuriate in her gorgeous voice and these just as plush instrumentals. And speaking of retro, at number 4 we have Chloe and the Next 20th Century by Father John Misty. I think this album is really underrated, and I think Father John Misty pulls off that jazz pop vibe really, really well. I think this is actually his most sincere work in quite a while, probably since I Love You, Honey Bear. While it's still as world-wearied, it's not quite as cynical as his past past work, and for that reason I found it even easier to connect to his persona here. I fully buy him as a lovelorn crooner, and I just adore this album. At number 3, we have an album that I'm sure many of you were waiting for, Renaissance by Beyonce. This is just a perfect pop album. It's so full of joy. It reinvigorates my love of music truly when I listen to it. There are too many honestly incredible songs on this album to choose from. I don't think it's been overrated at all. I think it deserves all the hype. The way that it's basically a tour of pop history is really thoughtful, and I'm really hopeful that this album will open up space in the mainstream for more takes by different diverse artists on disco and funk and pop and R&B and dance music. At number 2, we have Dragon New Warm Mountain, I Believe in You by Big Thief. They are making it so hard to pick a favorite Big Thief album because this album is so long and so ambitious, but so consistent and fun. This is one of those great albums like Renaissance where you could have a different favorite track every day, and in fact, it kind of feels like I do. This draws on folk and country and Americana and singer-songwriter and rock, and it's such a great encapsulation of the artistry of this band, and especially Adrienne Lenker. Such a wonderful album, and I really hope that Big Thief wins a Grammy really soon. And finally, we have reached number 1. My 2022 album of the year is Ants from Up There by Black Country New Road. This is an immaculate album. The vocals are so full of raw emotion. The lyrics are specific and painterly. The instrumentals are loose but skillful. The melodies are memorable. I love everything about this album. To me, it's an instant classic. It feels so humble, but it announces its greatness at the door. Believe the hype. Believe all the hype. If you haven't listened to this album, please do so. It is just incredible. This is the type of album that makes me so grateful that I live in a time when so many artists are able to share their music globally and I can discover it. And I feel just as fortunate that even though I haven't been able to talk to you all a whole lot this year, I can still share my love of music with you. So thank you so much for watching this video, and please leave your own list in the comments. I will be there, I will be taking a look at them, and I will be saying hi hopefully as well. If you're still here, thank you for watching. I know it's been so long, so I am extra appreciative of you spending this time with me. I hope you all have a very happy holiday season and a wonderful new year. 2023 is shaping up to be another great year for music, and I hope to experience that with you. But until then, that's it. Happy New Year, everyone.